this thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank, huh? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick it. Everything is going down. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony.
What it do? What it do? What it do? How you doing there, Miss Cynthia Joi?
What it do? Good morning, Sugarfoot Sweet Face. How you doing, honey?
Hey, that part right there. That's how you doing it. Yeah. I just want to let everybody know, welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. Big Hank is teaching Vacation Bible School. I just talked to him a minute ago. He had told me Tuesday, and everybody knows that's my right-hand man right there. We gone together with this since 2018. We got our other co-host in to bring her on in while we just starting up there. What's up, Miss Willette Hurst? He's in.
What's up, Sugarfoot?
Big Hank won't
Hey, Sugarfoot.
Big Hank won't be able to attend to today's show because he's teaching the class at 10 o'clock for the Vacation Bible School at St. Luke's Holy Baptist Church in Westside Long Beach.
That's what's up.
The extraordinary Dr. Williams is the leader of the pack, and I'm always grateful to be able to announce them, and I'm excited. I'm excited today, y'all. I'm for real. And the day is August 11th, 2022. It's 10:01 a.m. in the Pacific Standard and 12:01 in Central Standard. I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. I got my co-stars with me here, Miss Willette Hurst, Miss Cynthia Joi. Miss Cynthia Joi got Strength in You, and that is something. I was able to watch her show on Mondays. I would like to announce anybody who can go there. Living and Loving Life said, "Hey everyone, we want to say hey to you. Living and Loving Life." We want to give a shout out to the WO Entertainment, which created this platform to bring awareness of our veterans that comes back to America and committing suicide. And one of the things that is, most people know that commit suicide is because of depression. Cynthia Joi, you had stated it's a word, some letters when they dealing with, like, once you went through a traumatic situation and they come back. What's that term called?
What, my term that I made up have a stroke?
No, you didn't make it up. It's a known term for when people come back and they're been in a traumatic situation. Now they come back and they still having it. It was something PTSD.
PTSD.
Yes.
PTSD.
We know that, and we know that a lot of people
post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, and there's a crackling. I can hear a crackling or something, or somebody.
Yeah, I hear it.
It's probably my phone. It's me.
I don't know. I can't tell. I just could hear it a little bit. It's not. I don't hear it that much now. One of the things that the WO Entertainment was created for was to bring awareness. And one of the things that we decided what we would do is talk on subjects that some people can find it hard to discuss. But when you hear other people talking about things, it makes you say, hey, I can see with their point. And all of us have sometimes different points, different approaches. And that's why our show is built upon the freedom of speech. Sometimes some people will come on our show and they may say a word that other people don't like. It could be a cuss word, whatever. And sometimes I tell people don't miss the message by one word. That's like looking at one tree and missing the whole forest. And so we want to thank WO Entertainment for allowing us to be the I call it the Lowry seasoning salt for the War Entertainment, which is a platform for veterans, and a lot of the military is like it. We have the good neighbors, the BB Nation, which is the backwoods veterans of Oregon. They always jump in. Matter of fact, I tell everybody, and I said I got to do more better. On Wednesday nights, they have what they call hump day hangovers, and then on Fridays they have what they call the rockabilly, where they play a lot of the country music. And then Mondays we found that Cynthia Joi has a very good show. Her is a brother named what was his name?
Junior Hernandez, known as Wisdom.
Wisdom had me. Wisdom is wise too, and she works. Cynthia Joi works with those who've had strokes, and it was amazing because she's brought awareness to something I didn't know. I thought that stroke victims were only people like in their 70s and 80s years old, and to find that it's no certain age limit, and she's herself is a survivor of a stroke. We don't like to pat on that because you can see how beautiful she is. It doesn't affect her, but she gives other people encouragement. So that's what the Woe Entertainment was, to bring attention to veterans that commit suicide. That's what it's based upon. We got neighbors like the BB Nation. We got the VRS, that's a veteran syndicate that's known nationally. It's like 300,000 of them. And then we got our families and friends and those who just curious on the show. And we pride ourselves on it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. Now I know they laugh because sometimes it could be where you don't want to have a confrontation. You want it to be a conversation. But sometimes some things can get where it's how we handle it.
Emotions run high sometimes.
I beg your pardon?
I said emotions run high sometimes.
Sometimes, and I like that because we can able to solve our differences and still move on and come back. I see Miss Willette Hurst. She was there. I know she was laughing. How you doing, Miss Willette Hurst? She has a book out, everyone.
I'm doing fantabulous.
Go to Amazon. Miss Willette Hurst is an author. She has published 2 nice books. I never always keep them by me. But
Miss Cynthia Joi also has a book. It's called Living Life After Stroke.
Yes.
Yeah, go on Amazon, Cynthia Joi Towner.
Okay, y'all heard that too. She has a book called, say it again.
Fight Lives in the Heart of a Survivor.
I'm gonna have to get that book. I'm gonna have to get that too. Is it real thick too, or is it?
No, this is a short story. This is the beginning. This is the first one to get you warmed up and give you a taste of the beauty.
Now you telling, are you doing it out of how you came up as a kid and what led to?
Kinda. Hold on, bro.
Okay, I'm looking forward to reading.
Y'all know I'm at work too.
Okay, Miss Hurst, you said you drinking a smoothie. It looked like you're doing it real slow. I always like Willette Hurst. Please, if you go, like I said, go to Amazon. You can put in Willette M. Hurst for her 2 books. They pop up. Don't kill your.
I have 3 books on Amazon.
Well, beg my pardon. 3 books on Amazon, and but one of our favorite reads that everybody is loving is called "Don't Kill Your Vision for Another Man's Baby." And I'm finding that to be amazing. That's amazing. Writes is real easy to read. The author, she's bona fide about what she say, And then, like I said, Miss
This is
Christina
the
Carter, she's dealing with children. There it is, right there. Don't kill your vision for another man. But now, Big Hank like to call it another title. Big Hank, okay, we get it, we got it. Now, as we know, we all may address subjects, and I'm gonna touch upon a subject. Let me mute her mic because we can hear her in the background. Cynthia Joy is be working at the same time, and then Miss Willette Hill, Hurst. I said Willette Hill. Miss Willette Hurst is sometimes where you at, Victorville or somewhere up there in the mountains. Miss Willette, you sticking? Are you somewhere up in the mountains? Is you sticking? Her camera is sticking. See, but anyway, okay, she's back. What's up? I had to unmute your mic because we can hear your conversation.
I'm sorry.
No, you all right. Miss Living Life said a stroke doesn't discriminate against race nor age. The book Life lives in the heart of a survivor is the foundation of how strength in you was created. I know that's right. That's someone who knows the background of it. I'm looking forward to reading it because that's what I like to do. Now, everybody knows that by trade, you always hear me say I'm a civil designer. By trade, that's why I've been able to produce the shows that I do in LA and everything. I put my career in and gambled on this one company, and I'm so glad that I did. I worked for a company. Never knows. I never bring up companies' names and stuff, and I really don't like to say their names because there's things that I say, and I don't want no one to think that the company that they represent anything that I say, which may not, which I went through with some firms. But I do want to say is that there's this brother. I don't want to say his name or say what he does until I get his permission. I meant to ask him for his permission, but he is a very, very valuable person to our community. I'm not gonna lie, he is, and I work for him, and I want to get the clearance, for him. He's probably watching the show now. I didn't want to state his name until I got the permission. He probably, he can see how we run. You know what I'm saying? I can only be myself with the strong people that I have around me, like Miss Cynthia Joy and the people that listen to her. I was so honored to listen on their platform Monday. It was amazing. And I'm like, wow, Cynthia came up with something I never thought someone would do. Let people who also don't think they have a voice, who's been through a major medical situation, to be able to talk and speak. And I learned some stuff. I know I teased with Wisdom about he had that Pikachu in the background. I said Wisdom shooting that electricity, you know. But I want to say I'm grateful to God to see him and stuff. I want to ask him, I want to be, if I got to know him better, I was going to say, what was that? The 10 Commandments hanging from his ear. I didn't know.
Not the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, I was just teasing with it. Looked like the 2 tablets. Like a tablet was here. He's like,
I told him he'd be wearing price tags on his ears.
Yeah. Miss Monda Robinson, good afternoon, y'all.
Good morning, Sugarfoot. How are you, honey?
Yeah, that's that. And everybody, if you get to know Cynthia, that's how she speaks to you. One time when I was just getting to know her, she said, "Hey there, honey, sugar face." I'm like, okay. How do you respond back? Okay, there's cinnamon toast. No.
It puts a smile on people's face.
Yeah, it does put a smile, and she's constantly, and we constantly smile. She makes me smile. Sometimes we get on subjects like today's subject. We're gonna get on something about. I've been. My head producer even asked me, and I like that. Everyone knows that just because you see black faces on our platform, we have a lot of white neighbors who they love the show. We acknowledge them. Latino, like we don't discriminate. We don't look about who's your sexuality, your spirituality. You may hear me because I believe in the spiritual God and salvation through the Son, but I don't push that on other people because our show is about humanity. We're not about black, white, I bring out what's inhumane and what's I feel is unequal and unfair. Isn't that what we do, Miss Cynthia Joi? You stop me. Now, one of the questions that was brought to my attention, just like when it was brought to my attention about what was my opinion about the men that cuss themselves, their genitals off, and then want to go compete against women. And I gave my feelings, and and I just look at like blind. Justice supposed to be blind. You're supposed to be able. If you hear the story, you don't supposed to be like, oh, he's black, he's white. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You
go by the story. But one of the stories that was brought to my attention was about Miss Brittney Griner. If anybody knows, Miss Brittney Griner is a WNBA player who sometimes play for the Russian basketball team. Now, Miss Brittney Griner was stopped at the airport with having some cannabis vapors in her luggage. So there's been an upcry to release Brittney Griner. And they've been talking about doing a prisoner swap for her and another guy named Willette, if I'm not mistaken, for an arms dealer that was known to, he was given 25 flat years. And so the Russians, and they've made an agreement of swapping out this guy for Brittney Griner and Mr. Willette. Russia gave her 9 years. Some people in America, and I just want to say this, and I'm going to say this right now. I watch NBA athletes. The NBA means never broke again as far as I'm concerned. But I can't say they speak for me. You can't really acknowledge. You may have been where I was at one time in your life as far as a financial, but you can't really speak for me. And some people uses their platforms to be able to get their point across. Now, I heard an uproar from Mr. LeBron James about telling President Biden you need to get Brittney back. And sometimes I feel in this society like there's always us against them types. Like you make your millions of dollars and now you speak for me. Let me explain something to people. I'm going to take you to the globe here. We live in America. Here's America. We live in America. Now, when you lay a map out flat, you would think that Russia is far from us, but it's really not. It's really connected by Alaska because Russia at one time owned Alaska. We bought Alaska from them to my understanding, like the 18 something. I'm getting to a point. So we get NBA players where other countries love them. They go to China, they Europe and everything. And we had a show on that before about how we felt that when in this turn of the century, in the past 10 to 15 years, and I tell people I don't look at, the whites keeping us down. Hey, we got more black millionaires and billionaires throughout the history of the USA. I want to get that correct. But yet we make up 13.5% of this population. That's including those who fight in the military and everything. We make up 13.5, but yet we're the lowest poverty line. We're the lowest on poverty. I'm getting to a point on that because a lot of these mothers and kids.
I was thinking about when you was getting to a point last time.
Don't you just think you just bring your camera just went off and you come back on and stuff, and now you want to just think like, hey, you just got in. You got to put your finger up and let yourself in for a minute first. I'm getting to a point because a lot of men, black men, are in prison for marijuana sales.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all know I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I don't speak on that. I speak on humanity. I speak on what's fair. They say, my dad went to the grocery store and he never came back. Ooh, and they say, oh, he's a low down, dirty dude. No, he's in jail. He's in jail. And so because we got more blacks, not saying that it's all blacks in prison, but the prisons in the United States holds up over 80% is blacks. And they said that there's more black prisoners than all the history of slavery. But I got some statistics to tell you why some of them is in prison. 58% of blacks in prison and Latinos and some whites is because of basic marijuana sales or basic having marijuana on them. Or some people want to call it cannabis. Some people want to say weed. But for real, for having it on them, I knew it was unfair when they had the war on drugs and a person with a rock was caught with a rock was doing 1 to 2 years. That's the minimum with one rock. The black family turned it back again, be like, oh, you shouldn't have been having the old cracker and all that. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. So if having marijuana has been such a fear to the blacks that when it becomes legal, the churches say, don't fall for the trap, but billions of dollars is going over our heads. Now, I'm going to bring this up. I want to hear your opinion. I'm going to bring this up. Well, I want to share this right here. I want to share the screen. And first we're going to talk about, here's the lady. Well, here we're going to bring this up. You know, this is Brittney Griner. Now, Russia confirms prisoner swap talks as U.S. hopes for Griner and Whelan release. And what they're doing is they're talking about exchanging her. Russia confirmed Thursday for the first time that negotiations between Washington and Moscow on a prisoner exchange are underway after the United States proposed a deal to release WNBA star Brittney Griner and another American prisoner, Paul Whelan. And there it's underway. I just want to show you. You see now. Someone asked me, they said, well, what do you think about that? Where's the America don't look at our own first? Now, I ain't saying Brittney Griner isn't our own, but I'm gonna tell you something. There's 50 states in this United States, and some of these states aren't legal with cannabis. And so Colorado is legal, California is legal, Missouri is legal methanol. They on the ballot for recreational come November. They're legal. Oh, we got our sister came in, Christina Carter. What's up with you, Miss Christina?
Hey, y'all.
All right, how you doing?
Hey.
I'm okay. How y'all doing?
All right. About this. Now, some states aren't legal. Mississippi just became legal where Christina's at, but it's not legal in Tennessee. Is that correct, Miss Christina?
What are y'all talking about?
Cannabis.
We was talking about Brittney Griner.
Oh, yeah, it just started.
Now, some states aren't legal. Some states are. Miss Willette, there's states you've been in. If they was not legal, what do you do? I know you don't mess with it. You know, but I'm just saying this.
She was like, what I need to do?
I know I caught her off on. I did that on purpose. She was like, Lord, I don't know nothing about that game.
Wait a minute. I'm like,
Let me tell you something. You don't take nothing to a state that's illegal. You ever seen the movie Smoking the Bandit? You know why it's called Smoking the Bandit? His job was in the Trans Am is to bring attention away from the diesel that's carrying the illegal booze. So what he does is get into a speed chase by the police, and they chase him everywhere while on down the line, on in trucking. We're going to see what we're going to be done, right? He's pushed on down the line. Because some states is not legal. Now, if I know a state is not legal, I'm not messing with that state with no cannabis products.
I just want to ask one question. Why you ask me that question? My brain still hurt.
I know. I just
I'm like, Cynthia, I'm like,
she got the rest areas pushing scriptures. We know. I'm
gonna have to go off and readjust my wig or something to make sure.
Yeah, but you see the pattern I'm saying. We know better. You know not to go over the speed limit if you go on interstate to interstate, because you don't know how some good old boys may be if you down in certain states. So you want to do the speed limit. You don't want no situations.
Right.
Now, I had one of my co-workers went to party in Tijuana. He got drunk and him guys drinking and they get into a bar fight. When the Mexican police come, he goes to jail. He sobers up. After the day, he wakes up and he said, hey, can I give him a phone call? They said, do you think you're in America? We don't know how privileged we are in America or in Canada, because you have freedom of speech, and the veterans, our military gives us this freedom. We don't understand that, because some countries' government, like your book, could not just go out to Amazon, Ms. Willette. It would have to be dissected, and they would have to say what you mean here. Yeah, that's government rule. You feel me? Matter of fact, we ain't gonna put it on the shelf. Nobody sell it because we don't like where you at. You understand? That's for real. My man was down there for 2 weeks in Tijuana jail before they told him, okay, you're going to make a phone call. Now, we may find that harsh, but we're not from that country. Next time you go down to Tijuana, I bet he won't be fighting again. Now, Miss Griner felt comfortable to go over to Russia.
That's because to her, they get different privileges than regular people get. We ain't a part of the WNBA or none of that. So, like you said with the NBA, they never broke again. They get to get away with things that the average person don't get to get away with. So she didn't think nothing of it. She just thought, it ain't legal there. Let me take my stash with me. But for them to keep all this focus on it, and we got so many other things going on in the world, it's like, miss me. I'm just over it.
But what was a trip is that she and it's not about the NBA player, because some is right, whatever. I've seen a couple of them get arrested and stuff like that here lately. But they're asking for a prisoner swap, and all of us in attention. Now, why has it got so much attention? Because Russia's been warring with Ukraine. I didn't understand why we got to be involved with that. They have a certain point. America seems to be like sometimes, you know, with our military, because we're to me is we get number one, and we get other top militaries to join forces with us. We supplied Ukraine over $500 million. I'm like, why don't we work in our home first? this
That's
affordable
sad.
housing crisis we're going through.
Hey,
Kids
it's
are
horrible.
still
And that's why that
hungry.
issue is irrelevant to me because it's
Yeah.
not focused on what's in my front door.
Did you know
That
America
part.
got the worst medical situations? When you have racism to go into the hospitals. True story. My mother's an RN. She's working at a certain hospital. I'm not going to say, and a newborn baby who's black, and the white nurse grabbed the baby and was like, "I don't like you." And my mother's seen it. So the directors in them, which they was all white, told my mother, "Well, you shouldn't," because she brought up she raised a red flag when a white doctor accidentally nipped the black baby when he was giving him a circumcision. And it couldn't stop the bleeding. The baby was crying and everything. It was a oops. Then, so she brought it to him. Well, they told her, well, we don't have to let you go because you don't want to follow with standards. Standards was to shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Jobs tell you to be, don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've told people before, and I'm getting to a point. Have you ever lived in a black neighborhood, Cynthia?
All black, sure have.
You lived in an all black neighborhood?
You forgot I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Oh yeah,
so
south side of
absolutely.
Chicago. Okay, yeah. Miss Willette, you grew in a black neighborhood?
I have been in.
Neither one of y'all, I know, and we already know Miss Willette was born in Santa Monica and raised in West Hollywood, or born in West Hollywood and raised in Santa Monica. We know that there's not too many blacks there, but you understand though.
Y'all throw me up under the bus.
Well, no, I'm gonna bring you out because guess what? Cynthia Joi, I know you're from South Side Chicago. You have never lived in a black neighborhood. You lived in a neighborhood that was occupied more blacks because when the police came.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They didn't own nothing, so it was a white neighborhood. But
it was a white neighborhood occupied by
all black folks.
Because when the police came, the authority.
I can say the only time when the authority came to my house and it was all black people is when I lived in Ida B. Wells, before they tore the projects down.
Oh, I know about Ida B. Wells. Is that like Brittney Griner area or something like that?
Brittney Griner area.
Yeah, I know about that. It was so bad they tore that joker down. Like,
that's why they shut it down so quick.
The police didn't want to go to Brittney Griner.
That part.
Look here. I was in the car and they said, homie said, we're going to go by Sabrina Greens. We pulled up Sabrina Greens and someone was falling by the dumpsters. There was a whole bunch of trash down by the building. This building, and somebody just fell out, and dude said, "We ain't stopping, man." For real,
he was smart. That was smart.
He said, "We're not stopping." I said, "Did that?" He said, "Man, you seen it? There it is." But when the authorities come, it was the authorities were whites. You had to get sick. You got sick in South Side Chicago. All trauma that they say. So you go to hospitals. Who ran the hospitals?
Oh, they sent you to the hood where the black folks was that didn't care about you. Now we know behind the scenes the directors probably was white.
You sound like Killer King. They had.
I was just that when you said that, it reminded me of Killer King.
Killer King, huh?
Yep.
Martin Luther King, the hospital was the one you didn't.
I was thinking the same thing when she said that. I was like, Killer King.
With that. If you from Los Angeles area,
you was in trouble if they took you there.
Boy, man, look here. My partner started crying. Some people just ran shooting, and they were about to take me King. He said, "Nah, I'd rather die here because you definitely gonna die when you get there. You going there with a broken leg. They talking about he had a heart attack.
Right?
For real. You don't go on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and you don't go to Martin Luther King's hospital. And that's a shame.
With something with a name to that magnitude.
But we sit up here, Miss Brittney Griner. I can go deeper because Russia don't play certain things. They don't deal with the freedom that we have for expression of what's your sexuality. That's why he has a problem with the president of Ukraine. The president of Ukraine used to be a comedian. He's the voice of Paddington Bear, and He antagonized Putin one time, bagging on him. You know how I get on people's skins. He was bagging on the man. Man
No,
said,
we
you
don't know
what?
nothing about that.
He said, I'm gonna take you out. Now America started helping Ukraine with weaponry. All of a sudden, Brittney Griner is caught with some vials of some vapors that is legal in other states here. You can't have it in Kansas. She'll be facing worse stuff in Kansas, in Texas, than she is facing in Russia.
Texas, especially.
But they ain't playing.
They don't play in Texas.
Kansas giving you 5 days for each gram, or a $500 fine.
And that's crazy. That to me just tells you how much it's all about the money. Because it's more things in this world that can be illegal that you can go to jail for. And for them to pick something that grows from the earth is ridiculous. It's
And I'm glad you said that. Because here's what I was proving. Look at this, what I'm sharing. Half of drug busts are for pop.
Okay.
Most of the people police are arresting aren't kingpins, but rather people with small amounts of pop.
Facts.
52% of all drug arrests in 2010 were for marijuana. I'm showing you right here. Wait a minute. Watch this. According to the ACLU's original analysis, marijuana arrests now account for over half of all drug arrests in the United States. Of the 8.2 million marijuana arrests between 2001 and 2010, 88% were for simply having marijuana.
That's crazy to me.
And blacks, despite roughly the equal usage rates. Now, you see that statement says, despite roughly the equal usage rate, that means it's equal. Blacks are 3.73 times more likely than whites to be arrested for marijuana.
That's crazy.
It's right there in your face. You can look it up. Anybody, just look up rest.
Which is unfortunate, but it just means we got to be a little bit more careful. We got to fall back a little bit. So Miss Griner, who knew better, because even from watching Russian movies, we know Russia ain't about that life.
Play. They ain't about
that life. So you could have just held back for a little bit, boo, because now you done made your bed. So now you got to lay it, and now everybody want to sit up here and raise these flags. Let's switch and let's switch. We got bigger fish to fry.
You feel? Hey, look here.
No, that's right.
Is it me, or did it seem like she felt privileged?
He felt privileged.
That privilege.
Now, I got one lady or ma'am, whichever way, Miss WNBA player, with over 2.3 million. You just said 8.3 million people arrested for the same stuff.
And that's crazy to
me.
me.
We want to go across the country and deal with some people and all that stuff.
Because she make money for the country, so now they want her back.
Oh, she represents us well.
That's all it is. She make money for the country, they want her back. See, the rest of us don't mean nothing to them. That's why we got to mean something to each other.
You got to mean
that's
something
my
to
point.
yourself too.
Okay, so with me bringing these points up, we having points. Miss Ramonda Robinson said that everyone knows that ordinary people can be locked up abroad daily.
What she said.
Oh, I want to, while I said these comments, I want to ask everybody to forgive us. Miss Willette Hurst was on by herself basically all Tuesday, and she didn't see none of the comments. So when I came back, because I
didn't see none of the comments, and he was
boy,
like,
she didn't see
you
none
wasn't
of them.
responding to none of the comments. I said, I was on the private chat.
They probably saying that she just ignoring all of them. She was on private chat. I seen all these comments, so I want anybody to know that you had comments just past Tuesday. She just didn't see it. She wasn't ignoring.
I didn't see him. I wasn't.
She love y'all. She love y'all.
Oh, I love y'all.
So let's put a vote then. Since I done made my base statement, do we worry about the brothers here, brothers, Latinos, and whites here that's locked up for the same type of sales in the United States, or do we go and put our support to get Miss Brittney Griner out?
You already know how I feel. I'm worried about what's right here in my country. I can't worry about
what's right in your neighborhood. What's
and
in
plus,
your
I can't do nothing about that anyway. We don't run that country. We don't have no say-so about what they want to do. But the people right here, we should be advocating for and elevating them. So I say right here, baby, We need to focus on the U.S.
But there's still disparity now amongst the blacks. See, you remember, you just seen 8.3 from 2001 to 2010. I brought that up. 8.3 million. That's dead.
And that was in 2010. Imagine the increase in 22.
Oh, but you got to look at it. The reason why it's high is because of the weed. They're making money off of that, but also because prisons are big business. Prisons are very
now
big
look
business.
here, you digging deeper now, Mrs.
Oh,
Hurst.
yeah.
Miss Hurst, look, you dig.
I used to work for a private company here in Brentwood, and we owned and managed the phones in the correctional facilities. So I know about the prisons and how much money you can make off of buying stock in the prisons.
She be listening to your call.
In the private,
I mean, here for 2 grams, man. Man, why ain't taking nobody get me out?
In the private prison.
Look here, and there's my point again. Okay, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I do know, and I keep my facts, that President Joe Biden was the architect of the crime bill. Now, before marijuana became legal, which has been in the 2015s on up, 8.3 million are arrested for simple marijuana charges. In prison, not just arrested, in prison. Now, there's a trend. So now when it becomes legal, there's a fear still set in.
Yeah, because now you can't take our black men away from their families from that stuff now because it's legal in whatever state. And then
wait a minute, the churches aren't enduring it. They want the tithes, but you ain't black. The black, they want the tithes, but we don't want you to be selling while you selling on weed. I mean, all of a sudden, it's billions of dollars over our head. And once again, we look, okay. It was a shame when I read an article that these two races of people that weren't blacks or whites or Latinos that was fighting over a $10 billion industry. Guess who? Right here in America. Korean women versus Chinese women. Over a $10 billion a year industry. And guess what the industry is?
What?
Hair and nails. That's what it said. A $10 billion industry they were fighting because they was over imports and exports of the women want the real hair. They was going to Brazil and fighting with having these warehouses where they got the women and you coming in with your hair and they pay you so much amount of money. They was having battles at warehouses like a kung fu movie to get the imports over here. So I can be like, hey, I got the real hair.
Mine ain't the real stuff, so they didn't.
I'm just saying this.
They didn't fight for mine.
You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of women with that Clairol look.
But you know, but it even goes deeper than that because when you get somebody else's hair too, there's spirits that's connected to all of that too, and people don't understand that too.
So before you got your weave, you was thinking like, you know what? I think that I'm gonna try to be a good person. I got my hair. You just said something changes in it. You was all cool and stuff, and you're like, let me get on to work. Now you got your new hair, and like, I don't know.
I don't know why I'm acting like this, huh?
I done seen some people with some pork chop feet going into them Asian people. You're talking about a pedicure. Oh, we work with your foot. We work with your foot. And I ain't knocking them because guess what? You're going to keep going. And they're going to keep warring over that $10 billion industry.
I walked into
literally, it was a war with them. When people's getting killed and everything, there's a war. And once again, it's over our heads.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Because I walked into a beauty supply house and they was playing our music. And I was like, I said, you study us, don't you? So you know us.
You should have known that.
Yeah, but I'm saying it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying is, you know us, you study us, so you can sell to us and you can do all that stuff for us,
Yeah.
right? But we don't even know ourselves.
But then we picked that up when the Malcolm X movie came out. Where'd you go get your Malcolm X and your African beads from? The swap meet that was owned by the Asian people?
I didn't do all of that, no.
I did. I had the African shirt with all the. I had to go
Where'd
to
you
the
get
swap
yours?
meet.
I went to the African man around the corner from my crib, actually.
Oh,
Did
for
you
real?
go to the Asian people, Roy?
We all went to the swap meets.
Did you go to the, was it Asian or black?
They was Asians.
Oh,
They knew more about Africa than all the blacks
African.
did. He said, the lady said, "Oh, black sweater, Malcolm X, it look good on you." I said, "Oh, thank you."
I hate him.
Don't you say that? No, you don't hate them.
Talking about you. She
Oh,
ain't
she
talking
said,
about
"Hey,
you.
I'm talking about you.
So you remember that time, huh? You remember when they held that sweater up to you? Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X.
She wasn't talking about them. She was talking about you.
I'm glad you know.
Oh, okay, I was defending them, but she I know she's played for banter with me, y'all. Somebody said those front champers though. I didn't know what that meant, but
Those front choppers.
Yeah.
Was that a necklace
those
or something?
front choppers though.
Front choppers.
I don't know this. The Mad Side Bader 97. Oh, wait a minute. The Masturbator.
You know what? He play all day. Get it in,
Yeah.
baby. Just put it in the
Yeah,
side.
he came in. He comes up now. We can't be putting his words up there. I didn't see it. But look, everybody around us, you know, the show goes around. We got people that hits us from the Germany, Australia, all around the US. And the focus is, why isn't that we can't get our voices out to talk about the problems with the marijuana? And I think that it first starts with, why isn't the black churches accepting it? Why? I'm trying to understand that.
Why are black churches accepting what though?
It's not accepting the legalization of marijuana. We're used to seeing all these people. So somebody said,
because
unfortunately, they got out. What type of jobs are they gonna do? Are they gonna do more crime? The Lord showed me. He said, "Hey, I've seen the righteous. I've never seen the righteous."
I was going to say, most of them people sitting in churches, it's unfortunate, but they feel like they kind of holier than thou. I hate to say it like that, but
they can't see that father was walking down the street to the liquor store. He got the kids in there. I can't smoke a joint in the house. I'm gonna go out there. Might as well go up here and smoke one in the beer.
They forgot it ain't what you do, it's how you do everything that you do.
And then they said father didn't come home. He went to the liquor store, never came back. Oh, all of a sudden we got 8.3 million arrests.
Because we've been so busy judging them people that they've been trying to run and hide and go smoke and drink everywhere else, and then they get picked up by the police.
But to be honest, the people that are judging you in the church is doing way more worse than what they judging you for.
You sound like your vice president.
Why he gotta be my vice president?
I said, you sound like our vice president. I said, our vice president, Kamala Harris.
You said my
Vice President Kamala Harris was caught smoking marijuana as Attorney General of California, but yes, made sure that every black person who was with marijuana, they went to prison. Even when the evidence, she would suppress the evidence. That's the truth. You can look it up. You can ask the ACLU. CEO Richard King. We want to ask, because people ask me, what did I think about Brittney Griner? Then I was listening to this one right reporter. I like facts. I like humanity. I like things to be equal. I see 5-point-something million people in jail for minor marijuana offenses, and we're talking about one person. She may not like me. I'm not in her circle anyway.
Well, she definitely won't like me because I feel like she thinks she's privileged and can just get away with whatever she wanted to do. So she didn't think about the repercussions of what she was doing before she actually did it. So now it ain't up to us to go over there to try to save her. As they say, save her. We ain't trying to save nothing.
Wait, it gets me is that, okay, if you're going to do this, okay, all America's saying this, if you're going to now sell it, we're going to sell it right. California had put it on that they was giving all the minorities a chance to be able to own dispensaries when it was voted for in 2018. But Miss Willette, can you loan me $25,000 so I can do my non-refundable deposit application?
I'll cash app it to you right now.
Okay, thank you. And I mean, this is what they was asking for.
I know.
A $25,000 non-refundable application fee. Shoot, I'm gonna have to tell my son, you ain't going to school. I got to get this application. And then if it's denied, now we both out. But see, this is what I like about the person I'm working with. I'm gonna wait till I get his permission. It's because he's not even an NBA player, but he's working on affordable homes where people don't have to be. You want to own your own home. A lot of people don't understand that apartments was created to be, after a year in an apartment, the apartment complex is supposed to help you buy your home. They get away with messing up your credit if you can't pay your rent, but they sure don't pay the monthly, if you buy a credit card, you get a credit card every month, the credit card reports of your good standings. If you buy a car, they do the same. Apartment complexes, which is most of the 50% of people staying in, don't report that you have a better credit each month. So that way you can get the better credit you have, the better chance of you buying a home. But you be at an apartment for 3 to 4 years, and all of a sudden you get evicted. That goes on your credit. Now you can't get a place for 7 years. We don't want to confront that type of situation.
Because when you
now, Los Angeles, go ahead, Ms. Willette. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, because when you do get evicted, when you can't pay for your bills, that be on your credit. Both y'all lean forward.
Oh, good. You posted.
Both you guys did like this.
And look what Richard.
So I wasn't leaning forward last week. I mean the other Tuesday because I couldn't see you. But it doesn't improve your credit, but it damaged your credit for 7 years if you went into hardship.
Richard said, watch the show Locked Up Abroad. People are locked up all the time in other countries for crimes the U.S. don't go get them.
Yep.
You supposed to know. When I was a kid, there was a movie called Midnight Run. This dude tried to bring some drugs and everything, and he learned next time.
And they don't play in them other countries either.
But what gets me is that
that'd be rough.
The THC is helps people as a medical thing.
CBD, THC, all of it is.
I found out they give it to little kids that have epilepsy.
And they give it to seniors too.
Yeah, it helps with. You don't hear them talking about, he has Alzheimer. When I was high school, that Alzheimer was the main thing. Now they give him an edible. Now he's like, yeah, I remember back in 1955.
I was high as hell. I remember now everything.
Yeah, y'all remember everything.
But no, that's real.
Yeah.
But God said, whatever I make that comes out the ground is good. I don't care how you fertilize the dirt.
But what's crazy is all these medications that they give us is man-made.
Ooh.
Man-made medications. And those are because the government said so.
Look, now you all on my porch because that's the company I work for. That's what I do. Like I work for
drug
Medicare.
Dealer. She's a drug dealer. You
the D girl. You the D girl.
I'm the D girl. I'm the D girl. So,
but no, and I don't like all that. I would rather smoke some weed than take all these different medications.
For the seniors,
there's more seniors
on medication than it is anybody else. And when you give them the pills, it leads to something else. It leads to something else. It leads to something else.
Your phone is sticking somehow, Miss Willette. You keep sticking.
I'm on the computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honey, I agree with you 100%. You get one pill for something else, then you got diarrhea, then your booty fall off, then you lose your teeth.
You've been hanging around him too long.
She telling the truth.
Yeah, but that be something that you do. The only thing is you would have imitated it.
One of my partners he went to the physical, and people was already nervous about going to the doctor. So they said his high blood pressure was high. And so instead of telling them come back, let's do a stress test, whatever, see how give us, they put him on high blood pressure meds.
Right away.
That leads to something else.
So when he took the high blood pressure medicine, one day he was standing up. He said he goes to the doctor like, oh, I got this. He said, oh, you got vertigo. Vertigo. Never heard of that. Give him another pill. I am pillless. There is not a pill I take. Sometimes I might take a multivitamins, but sometimes I find myself have to throw them away because I probably take one out every 2 weeks because I eat a lot of natural fruit. I eat stuff that comes from the ground. I can't eat the fast food restaurants because they're mixing it with this silicone stuff that's digestible to you, but that's the way they can stretch it. Chickens don't have wings no more. Now you know what I'm saying? Chicken wings is expensive in the mud.
A real chicken wing for sure is expensive.
Yeah, thighs like mud out there. Wings, that's a whole different price.
That's why you got to get the wingettes.
The winglets is going scarce. I used to get a big bag of winglets. I got 2 kids. I get a big old bag of winglets from Walmart. It used to be like $7. A big old bag. Be like 10 pounds.
Oh, they like 13.
Now they down to 3 pounds at $15.
Everything is about control. The government and the pharmaceuticals
want to make money off of people at the expense of harming people. Holistic way is the best. Yeah,
absolutely.
Roundup tells you to kill your dandelions.
It's killing you at the same time.
But wait a minute. They still part of a medical thing for the wellness of your body when no one understands that dandelions boiled in water like a tea, it's
actually good for you.
And you see how they made us when they hit them with that truth. They telling you get rid of dandelions. God said when anything made out the ground is good for you. When my grandmother was from Shreveport and she used to show us how to eat little stuff like the little grass leaves look like little yellow flowers. You can chew them. It's like pickles. You can eat that. She used to show me how you can eat berries and stuff that they would eat because to keep, But oh no, we got to have a Sobe with 5 different sugars in there. You think you drinking a healthy drink and you got diabetes, wonder why my lower back is hurting. But so then you say, hey, I think that America needs to bless those who've been in jail for that. They know that stuff was good for them. But it's another way of locking you up. You think they just sitting in the prison and not producing anything? Who you think? You ever been to a license plate factory? No, that's inside the prison.
You don't hear nothing about that. You don't hear nothing about where the license plates come from. You get charged a lot for it, but you don't know where it comes from.
Those little tool sheds that you see in back of Walmart, where you don't see no factory makes them. Certain no brand shirts and jeans. You don't see you see shirt and jeans and stuff, and there's no brand on it. That's where they made.
Everything that they have now comes from the prison, and that's why they make it so easy for black guys to get locked up. Being honest, not just black, not to be racist, but they do all the hard labor in the prison, so they don't have to pay them as much.
Exactly. But see, right now, we got to be able to start putting the voice out. See, what we do is we keep using the same, and this is where I say the insanity part comes in. We're constantly trying to deal like, I'm not talking about it, but the NCAACP, it doesn't really work in my life. The great churches of the U.S., they got $7.3 billion in what was the money, the benefit monies that we had got, the stimulus. They got $7.3 billion to split in the churches, and yet there's no businesses or anything. Why aren't the churches building Cannabis so that way we can actually have some funds? John Sally, NBA player, retired, opened up a farm. Mike Tyson got a 30-acre farm in Los Angeles. All these people, you feel me?
You know what? And also, they're not looking at when you put the man in jail and for something simple like that. Because when someone goes to jail, the head of
Your
the
phone.
household, the whole family. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sometimes you like Chinese.
The whole
Yeah.
family, the whole family falls apart because everybody does the time. It's not just the person inside of being
Right.
incarcerated. The wife does the crime, the kids does the crime. So it
Everybody's
impacts
affected by
the
it.
whole family. Yeah, dynamics.
But see what I'm trying to get. Why is it so lopsided? We just seen 3.58. We got 8.3. Yes, but
You know why it's still
what
lopsided?
money is where LeBron James is telling the president? When did we start saying we can tell the president get Brittney Griner out? Why ain't you shouting out? Let's get these. You know, because when I watch the games, I watch it from home. I can't afford to go to games. I'm working with the Clippers now, making payments just to be up in to keep from being. They want to make payments for season tickets. I'm a Raiders fan, but sometimes I ain't gonna be able to go to some of them games. It's too expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I keep it 100, but I have a voice. A matter of fact, I'm in a stand-up comedy show. I'm gonna bring this banner up before. I'm in a stand-up comedy show that's coming next Wednesday on the 17th. Be at Harley's Hideaway. You can see the whole lineup is white folks because I don't discriminate. I'm no black, you know. I always feel like I'm the most handsome. And so,
Okay,
right?
go to sleep.
The headline, you know what I'm saying? I'm Roy Anthony. I'm the #1 stand-up comedian. I'm the #1 civil designer. I tell them.
Cynthia, I told him, I said, if you tell me your name one more time.
I'm Roy Anthony, baby. I'm just not putting my feet on your couch. Y'all should have heard the Vandals yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy a couple of your books and send it to you. She said, I got 10. I already bought 10. In word. But who do we go for, Christina? Who do we get? Brittney Griner out, or do we get the people that's in the prisons now in America?
You said, do I do what?
A great venue where I'm gonna be at and stuff. We rock the place, Harley's Hideaway. I'm gonna promote it out now. What did you say, Christina?
What was the question? Who
do we get out? Do we put our voices to get Brittney Griner out, or do we try to put our voices to get some of those ones that's in prison with the same type of charges or even less out?
The other people out because they've been in there. And then people have a certain particular person that they go towards. So you lean towards the ones that they're forgotten about. Not the ones that are well known already. You go back to the ones that have been forgotten and give them a chance.
But we may want to forget them.
Well, you don't go to the ones that feel like who got entitlement issues. That's my thing. You got entitlement issues. You made your bed, you lie in that bed because you think you privileged and you entitled.
But wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was you saying?
I mean, you reap what you sow. You're gonna reap everything you sow before you leave here.
Yeah, but why is it that we don't have an infrastructure of jobs? The churches have an infrastructure of jobs, so when these guys come out, they do have a job. The company I'm working for is working to do affordable homes, where you can have a nice, decent home without, you don't have to have no Beverly Hills home. You can have a nice, decent home, and you still got accommodations to a decent school, decent hospitals.
They look at the churches because it's a nonprofit. You know, everybody ready. Some people ready to go nonprofit because they know they are able to get.
Oh, this is not nonprofit.
I'm just saying most churches.
Yeah. You want to buy a home. You can't buy some of these homes. Let's say you want to buy a home, not renting. You want to buy your home. In Los Angeles, everyone loves the weather, loves your ocean and everything. You can't afford some of them
But
homes.
you gonna pay. You gonna pay.
Yeah. So
You
what
gonna
if you can
pay.
buy where you can have like I build ADUs, which is called accessory dwelling units. A little 1-2 bedroom house. It's not all big and everything, but it's like you got an apartment, but it's a house. And you own it. Where you can put your car in and everything. You know, good weather isn't just for rich folks.
Right.
But see,
But
what
Roy,
you have to
but
understand
even
is that we're overlooking. It's 2022.
Mhm.
This infrastructure they got set up since like Mississippi. Christina, did Mississippi just become legal with cannabis?
Yeah, they did.
Do you know anybody who's got on top of that as far as in any of the people you know?
I haven't looked into it.
See, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry. Some people think, oh, I just grab some weed and sell it, but it's not like that. If you're gonna get right with the state, that's why there's certain people, and I said I'm gonna bring up this one brother next week who can show this is what they do. I'm glad that he don't have the mindset because there's people still in church. Look, so Big Hank know I pop at church once in a while. Everybody y'all know. So they had a visiting pastor from Mississippi up there in Long Beach, and his whole sermon seemed to be focused on to try to disqualify marijuana in Long Beach City of all that, in the city of Long Beach. Everywhere I've gone, and somebody asked me, "You from Long Beach? Yeah, you know Snoop Dogg?" That's the first thing they always ask me. And we know Snoop Dogg is cheap all the time. Now, all of a sudden, the man is preaching, and he said, "Yeah." So he was very big. He was a big guy. He was about 5'5", weighing about 550.
That's a sin.
He wasn't talking about gluttony. He talked about everything else and thought he'd come to Long Beach to tell him and make us feel. So I knew something because he's gonna be one of them guys who screaming. I seen where he was going with. So I got up. After about 20 minutes listening to him, I started getting up because I knew the theatrics were going to start. Later on, I seen Big Hank. Big Hank said, the pastor said, "Hey, why Roy leaving?" He said, because he knows that the man's about to go into theatrics. So I said, "Well, did he go into theatrics?" He said, "Did he?" Ain't nothing being said.
It was a performance.
I told people man held me by the head, hamsa hamda hamda, and I heard him saying them same words with 5 other people he was praying for. When I get up there, he's at hamda. I knocked his hand. "Hey man, I don't even know what you're praying for, bro. Let's keep it simple. Say our Father who art in heaven. We can keep it simple." And he talking, "Well, man, brother, I'm uttering to the Spirit." Yeah, okay. If you grab my forehead again, I'm uttering to your liver with this left. I'm being
Jesus,
real.
take the wheel.
And the car. The wheel and the car.
Okay, then you wonder why your forehead got a horn growing out of it. Why is this hurting?
That's because you can't let everybody touch you, though.
That's my point. You don't know what he's praying for.
Yeah, and you don't know,
and
you don't know what spirit he doing it in.
There you go.
Yeah, because not everybody that say Lord, Lord have a relationship with him. And then like you said, people performing, like you said, they don't have no power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about those that be up there? I like to accept this word in the name, in honor of God. We don't know. All of them ain't talking about the spiritual God.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, everybody's hearing us. Brittney Griner, ma'am, I look at it like this. You know better.
That part.
I got my cousins, Little Gene and Big Ralph and all of them trying to get out, and the only thing they was doing was walking through the store, literally smoking a joint, and bam. That's why people don't understand that they used to burn incense, especially in Long Beach, and so because the incense would cover up the smell, because the police would smell marijuana and rush you.
Mm.
And so now, if we, and then I'd be like, why don't we put them in in an island or something. Why do we have to? Because Public Enemy said it at that time.
You ain't getting no money if you put them on the island.
It's free labor.
Yeah, you ain't getting no money. There's stock you can buy for prisons.
But see, we can combat this, but we got to start in our homes first to stop saying it is not illegal. Once again, we got $15 billion going overhead. Over 100 years, we got black churches have made a lot of money, and we don't have no industry. This is my problem I have. Billions going over here. You mean to tell me we didn't come up with ideas like Amazon deliveries? We did the numbers. Now they call it the lottery.
So is it not fair? Do you think it's fair for people to still be locked up after it was deemed to be legal for the
That's a good question.
And you know what, Christina? Wait a minute. No, I'm totally. That's a good question. I'm glad you said that. No, they shouldn't. But look here. Let me tell you what they call the trick bag.
Like having
okay, you know, if you sold weed and if you was to sell weed before it was legal back then, if you had weed, how do you protect your weed? How do you protect the money's in your pocket from somebody jacking you? You more likely want to have a gun.
I was very smart back in the day. I could say so. I didn't look like the type of person who did that. And when people do that, most people do it and be greedy. They don't get in and get what they need and get out.
But what if somebody was trying to jack you for yours, Christina? What did you have with you? You're gonna have a strap, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you set yourself up like that. It's I got this money, like the people do on Facebook and stuff. You give them the open invitation to know everything that you got, and now people think somebody snitching on you. No, you snitched on yourself.
Yeah, but I'm saying is back in the days before Facebook, cats would have, if you have weed, sometimes you had to have some protection because someone may be trying to jack you. Now, what the laws of California is saying, we exonerated you for your marijuana sales.
Now we're going to get
you a gun on you. You had a couple of other drugs on you. So we just going to run it. I've only known like 3 or 4 people. And we're talking about in the state of California. Mississippi, now since they legalized it, are they going to be letting a lot of people out because Mississippi had a very low tolerance? I'm looking for Nevada.
They probably use it like you was charged then because it wasn't legal then. But they could take, my opinion is, either you let them go or or you let them do some type of community service or something. They shouldn't be still held for something that is now legal.
But you're stepping on something now, Christina, because at time 5-6 years ago, people didn't go to prison for misdemeanors. I've seen guys like, I'm glad I got a misdemeanor. Now misdemeanors go to prison.
It's changed. Even like a lot of tickets and stuff, it turned into other things. Just driver's license. They take that. Then they went, now you got to pay all this money. Then it goes into other stuff. So anything that you do now, they're going to hold you accountable for it and make it as if,
Which one of y'all ladies said this? You did like this. Which one of you ladies put up like it was about that money?
Anything.
Now, this is where I'm coming back from. We ain't expecting society to just give you no money. You put your money into a situation, which is where we've been putting our money into for the past 100 years. What you've been investing your money in? Tithes and offerings. Now, I'm not telling nobody that I'm not paying tithes. I pay my tithes to a church now that I know pay, that helps the community, that helps trying to start a business, stuff like that. And they're a small church. 7.3 billion. Well, if we could have got 0.3 of the billion. Every time I look up to do some progress, you got to have a seminar. Listen to over here, talk over here. Listen to this and over here, and whoop the whoop the whoop, and we still being the same thing over and over and over.
Recycling the same stuff.
Christina said at one time, every same boat, same stuff over and over. We do same stuff. That's insanity. $15 billion going over their heads. There's proper channels to do it the correct way. You can't just open up there ain't no more of those trap houses. Take your money, get with an engineer firm that builds the stuff the correct way. I got that information. I'm gonna get the clearance to see if I can do it the right way. Let's take a church. Hey, church, invest 25,000 in me and do this, and you're gonna get beyond your tithe. You're gonna get a lot of money. That way you can build up the real storefronts and help the people.
Well, a lot of times they don't want to build up to people because they won't be able to take advantage.
We calling for them to do it. We calling for them to do it. They may not. They ain't been one to. It's 100 years of collecting monies. They ain't been done. I'm calling it out
because they like to keep them ignorant.
I'm calling them out. That's what we do right now. We call it out. Everything, you can't go against God. Everything that God grew is fair. Guess what? It's proper channels. Start showing the people the proper channels. Stop talking about, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do for a living. Well, let's pray for you. No, let's have a spot. You can pray, but I got something I could have you work at. I got something you can do.
People take a lot more pride in the mega churches now because it's a showcasing now. They probably go get like a couple things to invest into the community just to, keep their name down.
But we call them out, Christine. This is what I'm saying. We call them out. We call them out. We know that situation now. We call them out. 100 years has got to stop. I done told blacks, stop trying to push down the race. You're making me leap back to beyond 1897. 1897, leave free. Okay, years ago, depression, everything. But these past 100 years, the black churches have controlled the economic process. They're the only entity within us blacks that has been able to collect monies without nothing to show. When you say, I'm gonna follow a nonprofit organization, some of them doing that so they can get a church, don't have to pay taxes. That's what a nonprofit is. The nonprofit didn't think that you're gonna be making millions, especially during the crack pandemic. Shut up, Roy. Shut up. Shut up, Roy. That's when you start hearing everybody. That's when you start hearing and stuff. Some people got to go to the priest, the mafias and everything. They go to the priest and say, "Hey, priest, whoop, whoop." You say, "Okay, give me 3 Hail Marys and whoop, whoop, and leave an offering." You think they wasn't hitting up some? Hey, man, I know some major guys. They was giving monies to some major pastors. Now, next thing you know, okay, we got a streaming service. This goes around the world. I call them out right now. Stop trying to make me shift to, we know that there's racism and all that, but I'm also recognizing in this show right now, there's racism amongst ourselves.
Mm-hmm. When you say dark-skinned and light-skinned and all that stuff, people, we're racist.
What it is. I took myself out to slums, went to school. I worked as a construction worker, and I kept going to classes. To now, I'm a civil designer. I brought myself out the murk. It wasn't me because I believed in God. Now I know there's better ways. Guess who I didn't depend on to send me to school? To the churches. You're going to give me a $5,000 scholarship when the tuition for one semester is $20,000? Come on, man. Let's call them out. We know the problem. Let's get everybody like-minded, Christina. Just get everybody like-minded and say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm gonna let I just got with Big Hank. Big Hank had to teach Sunday school, not Sunday school, but Vacation Bible.
Vacation Bible.
And he has a brand called Long Beach All-Stars that's actually patented through one of my good friends, Brian Tooks, who is the #1 black patent lawyer in the United States. He's from Shawnee Mission, Kansas, but he lives in downtown Chicago. Upscale. His beautiful wife is the spokeslady for the American Dental Association. He got Big Hank patent where he's a patent. We was talking about it. So we're going to start putting in, and the church wants to put in and start getting this manufacturer out. That's why we work with that service. I'm seeing our stuff done. And now that's one little entity. Sometimes we don't, as blacks, are scared to put our money in because sometimes Leroy Jenkins and them run off with it. The preachers preach on how you should get that money up, but they sure ain't preaching a lot about the warehouses that's supposed to be stored up. Let's talk about that, sir. How many of these warehouses we got stored up so these people can eat? Where's Benny Hinn with a suit jacket when COVID came out? Where you at? Because you know what? 2 Timothy 3rd chapter 5th verse said, many are godly, but have no power. Therefore, men run away.
A lot of churches ran away during COVID.
A lot of men, a lot more women in the churches than the men.
True.
Not at our church board, we got a lot of men because it's been real. We believe in, like the company I work for, I believe in the owner. I didn't say his name because I want to have the green light from him, but we're going to be wrapping this up. But I took a vote that I'd rather deal with Americans first. I didn't believe in giving money to Ukraine because we got too many here that is hungry. You know
That are
what
starving.
You know what 500 million can go for to have?
We got a lot of homeless kids here. A lot of homeless seniors. A lot of homeless vets.
I said I need to talk to this guy. This guy has portable showers that he takes, and it messed me up that there's high school kids that are homeless. When he drives them down so they can take a shower. Am I lying, Miss Willette?
No.
They had somebody down here like that too.
Mm-hmm.
It was
one individual can do it, but we're gonna get 500 million over here.
Mm-hmm.
We give so much credit to this guy with secrets and all this. I'm so tired of that mess.
It's a lot of kids here in Mississippi that's broken, and because their parents are drug addicts and they're not. The thing of having like it takes a village to raise a child. Now they are in silence because they don't want to be embarrassed or bullied, and they go to school every day, and they may be musty or whatever, you know, kids talk. If you ain't got your hair did and nails and lashes,
name brands,
the brands and stuff like that, they're going to get talked about. So it's more of them not having a voice to keep their peace and their sanity when they're in actuality out sleeping in abandoned buildings.
Yeah, but we need to stop that saying.
And that just raised the point of teaching these kids the importance of accepting people where they at.
Yeah.
Stop judging people based on what they have.
I'm not on that village raise the kids.
So those are things
in Africa.
They
were up there in a big old village.
Can do the sanitary napkins for the girls at the school. That's some stuff that like the churches can give back. If since you're taking up all these funds for different things, use it accordingly.
Exactly. We're calling them out. What I'm saying is that village takes a village to raise a kid was over in Africa. When you live in a village and stuff, they watch over all the kids.
Well, older generations did that. They used to help you if you were single. They used to. That's where it comes from too. They used to help you raise your kids. But you say something to a child. Nowadays, a lot of times you don't say something to a child.
Oh, they got laws to say you can't to your own kids. My son and daughter, you know, they screwed with it. But I'd be like, hey, I put some moves on you that you dare you say to something to the police.
It ain't no more big mamas and OGs and grannies.
But we got to go with what it's now. We in the now, y'all. This is a now. This is a now situation. We are
now.
In the now.
Have parents that go out and party and smoke with their kids and stuff. Now they don't. You know what I'm saying? That's the generation.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I just don't see what some people party and drink, Christina, and they have a company running. What I'm saying is it's not like it used to be. So now we have to regroup and meet them where they at and figure out new tactics. We can't raise them based on how we were raised because it's all generation. You can't expect the business and companies to run like it used to because of the time that we're in now. We ain't never had no business. That's the point I'm saying. For 100 years, we have invested in churches and don't have no warehouses to show for it.
Preachers and stuff got churches as a job now. They go to get paid, not to actually give messages now. That's the thing. I know you take some things out of messages and stuff, but it's not like that. So you have to be the first to regroup and do something different and hope like hell somebody pick up on it. Well, right now, that's why I'm saying we're doing this. We're calling it out now from this moment. It ain't about what they done before.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what you're doing right now because we don't have no businesses open. I just
We
seen
need to
where
start
some
now.
people from Ukraine is coming and they're opening up some businesses. And I'm gonna tell you this before we leave, y'all. I'm so proud of our sisters because last year Black women started more businesses in America than any other race or creed in the United States.
They gave
Y'all,
me
y'all left.
chills.
I love the lady down there in Georgia that she stands there tall, running for governor and everything. You know, I didn't like the people who took advantage of the Black Lives Matter situations and buy a $9.6 million home. But the people, I found that we did these protests for their families are still suffering with bills. That
Mhm.
kills me. Um, it happened with Emmett Till's mother when the NAACP used to pay her to do tours, and then they wanted her to do tours but stop the income. You know, sometimes it's the stuff that's inside the stuff that we're around, y'all. And I'm calling those out. It starts with us as
It
individuals.
starts with
Don't
us.
think that you're gonna change the world and you don't make up your own
And we
bed.
don't change it starts with us.
It starts with us. And now I ask each individual on here. I know it seems like hard, but we the ones who make a change. That's why this conversation. A lot of why my white neighbors want to know my opinion about Brittney Griner. They've heard me talk about Mr. Colin Kaepernick. They've heard me talk about some of the police brutalities and stuff like that. One time I had to ask a family in Arkansas to forgive me because their daughter was murdered, and the man that they executed, they found 3 years later that he was innocent. They had the DNA of a John Doe, but I kind of made it sound like, oh, it was a white family. Glad that the man had, and I came back on and apologized. It was a tearful situation too, because the state picked the case up. They said that they didn't believe he did it, but the state and the prosecutors, just when you deal with an individual who's considered the lead prosecutor and the judge, they two are considered the state. They speak for the state of the state you're in. And these are some of the things I have to agree with former President Donald Trump, that sometimes two or three individuals could seem like a witch hunt. But like my grandmother said, sir, don't let your good be spoken evil of. If you've been doing, you know what I'm saying? Everything's done in the dark, come to light. But us as individuals, I don't want to be a person to point my fingers and I ain't doing nothing different.
I want to be part of the solution and not part
There
of the
you go.
I want to be part of the solution.
I want to be part
That's
of
why I
the
do what I do.
I want to
That
be
part.
part of the solution.
That part.
Anybody want to be part of the solution? Raise your hand.
I want to
My
be part of the
actions speak
solution.
louder than my words ever could.
Yes. Please, anybody who's listening to the show, we're just trying to be part of the solution.
And
We
not
can
part of the
take
problem.
talking about this and that. I'm saying I'm taking a stand. I took a stand. Everybody knows that I wasn't believing in tithes. The Lord said you just ain't put it in the right place.
You got to put it in good ground.
You got to put it in good ground.
Mhm.
Then I looked at all this money, NBA players, rappers, singers. You got some rappers, you going in the neighborhood iced out.
They got to
Meanwhile,
start.
Somebody
Meanwhile, I'm angry that won't nobody put some money into a button so people can get into a building.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like y'all want to go over here and free somebody who didn't put themselves in a position. You won't help the people who actually need your help. We got to
In your backyard.
And I'm
Right
glad
in
you
the
said
backyard.
that, Cynthia
in your
Joi.
front of your face.
Yeah.
You can
Let them
see
know how we
every
feel.
day. That you see every day.
They always got somebody else speaking for them. No, I'm not dribbling no basketball. Somebody said, told the Browns, oh, that's dribble. Well, okay, guess what? We ain't not dribbling. We're
We're
talking.
going to start right here with
And
the
all
people that we see in our face.
And let me tell you something, America and other countries. No, we don't agree. She knew better, and that's what we've been taught. It's been enforced us. That's why we get astonished at the stuff we see going on now. It seems like justice is peeking around under the thing. former president, all them people get away with a whole bunch of mess. They
But
can
it
say
starts with
anything
us.
what they say.
It starts with us.
The Declaration of Independence in the 3rd chapter say, if this government fails us, we the people have the right to disband it and start afresh. I'm not telling nobody go out there and purge and everything. You done beat it in our brow. We want to hold the law that some people are scared to even think of. The laws done change. Oh no. Scared. And still the same people. We listen to the same people over and over.
Everybody needs to open their eyes instead of staying eyes wide shut. Open them
we
up.
talk
Let's
about
see
them
what's
old
really
people
clear.
in the Senate. We listen to
It
old
starts
people in
with
the
us.
pulpit.
It's time
We
for
listen
us
to
to
the
make the
same
difference.
people.
It's time for us
Everybody
to
at 70 years old and older is who we listening to.
Yeah, but we need to change. We need to switch up the
We
game.
need Congress change. You need to change the people, the church you go to, and stuff. So listen to the for real.
It's
real.
time to stop being unconscious. It's time.
God didn't tell you to go to church. Show me in a word. Anybody tell me in there where it says that he told you to go to church? He said, forsake not yourself in the assembly. Then he gave us a number where 2 or 3 gathered touching the agreeing, I'm the God among. He never said, go to the mega church and sit there in the 5,000 crowd. Jesus brought in because he was actually doing something. You missing an arm, and Jesus come around, and next thing you know, you like, hey. Then he said, sit down. I'm gonna tell you something. Then people was hungry. All these grown folks lazy. One little boy got 2 pieces of fish and some bread. He feeds everybody. You go over here now, you got to pay $20 for Sister Maggie's dinners and $5 Patty LaBelle's sweet potato pie from Walmart. I'm not doing it.
The devil is a lie.
Christina knows she can make a sweet potato pie. We get that sweet potato pie at the market and stuff for real.
We got to do it. We got to put the fort, and we got to take it by force. That's what I'm saying. We got to take it by force.
Patty LaBelle, them Patty LaBelle sweet potato pies is gone everywhere. I said, let me try one of them. I'm like,
uh-oh.
You know what?
Now, who I would like to know is who Glory is, because Glory Green's got it going on for real. She got soul food restaurants tapping in with Glory Greens. Glory got it going on. I
can't stand Glory Greens.
You can't stand Glory.
See, girl, it be the mix.
There's 4 people. There's someone that don't like, look, I can't stand that sweet potato pie. I said to them, like, where's the nutmeg? Where's
Now, when you know how to cook, you don't want none of that because you can taste the difference.
Yes. And so we passed our time, y'all.
That was a long time ago, Roy.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
But you was in the flow, bro. You was all up.
We gotta be solutions.
We gotta
be solutions.
We gotta talk about it though. All these things need to be talked about because we need to raise awareness and we need to let people know we can see.
And I have a man. I'm gonna bring him in who not only has a plan, but he's activated that plan, and I jumped in on this plan. And guess what? It's working. God bless y'all. Love you much.
Bye, everybody.
See y'all later.
Uh-oh. I don't know why that went back on.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony